Hey guys, welcome to Ginger and Chris Vegas, but we're not in Vegas. We are at the Monarch in Colorado, Black Hawk, Colorado, and we want to share something really unique with you. Something that happened yesterday that I've never seen before, so please let us know what you think. Have you seen it before? Do you think it's right? Do you think it's fair? Because this was a really strange thing that I saw, that we saw, and we experienced together. So let me tell you what it was. Okay, playing Dragon Link. They have 7 Dragon Link machines in this big casino, 7. And I'm playing.
It's actually 8. I counted them. It was 8.
Okay, 8. All
Still
right.
too little.
In this casino. And we're playing, and sometimes when somebody has to get up, they flip their chair around, they tilt the chair, and you leave your card and a little money in there, or ask them to watch a machine for you. Not a big deal, right?
Nope.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Okay, so this man playing next to me, he says something to the slot tech, and the slot tech says, sure, no problem. The guy cashes out. The guy opens the machine, reaches under, and puts it out of service. And I'm like, paying attention to everything that's going on. I said, what's wrong with that machine? He said, didn't look at me, didn't want to make eye contact. He says, it's out of service. And so my wonderful husband then joined me, and he steps up, and I explained to him, this is the strangest thing. I never saw somebody just put a machine out of service for no reason. And
it was the machine right next to yours. We like to play side by side.
We like to play side by side. So I'm playing Genghis, and he wanted to play Golden Century right next to me, but now it's put out of service. Was it out of service? Is there something wrong with the machine? No, there was nothing wrong with the machine. So then when the 2 slot technicians come back, then we inquired about it, and now they say, what did they say, babe?
Well, they said it's something they do for high rollers, that they will put a machine out of service so that the high roller will be back in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And we said, are you really?
Not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, not even 30 minutes. And they said, we'll do that for anyone. Then, because I said, what do you mean you're going to put a machine out of service for somebody when they come back in a couple hours? And they said, oh, would you like us to put your machine out of service? I said, no, there are people waiting for machines here. Why would you put a machine out of service? It has no problems with the machine. And so I said, no, thank you. I don't want my machine put out of service. That's just not right. And just want to know, what do you think? Do you think that's right? Have you seen people do that before? Just say, put my machine out of service. And if this guy, he wasn't really a high roller. He was doing maybe $10 a pull, but he wasn't doing any $25, $50, $100 a pull. And if you're a high roller, go over to the high limit room. Don't take the limited machines on the floor for the peasants, the people that just want to come to the Monarch and play. I just thought that was really weird. When I saw that, I was just like really thrown by it. So then they had the manager come talk to us. He said he was the casino manager.
He was actually just the slot.
He was a slot manager. He was a slot manager.
And not that we were going slot machine Karen asking for the manager. We just wanted to talk to him about the policy. And I asked specifically, is this a written policy for the Monarch Casino that you take a machine completely out of commission for the sake of a high roller or for somebody
for
you
anyone.
choose?
Yeah, you choose.
And he said, well, no, it's not written in our policy. We just do that for some people. And I found that really odd. Like, do we not, what's the criteria for selecting those people that you shut a machine down for, first of all? Is that a certain threshold of play, or what is it? And he couldn't really answer that. So,
So we're just trying to figure out if there's a hierarchy of privilege to people that get machines turned out of service for a couple hours for them. Is there a hierarchy? Like, who gets to determine? I kind of felt I was really offended just because of the way they were talking to me. They were very rude. And then I did explain that we are from Las Vegas, and we play multiple times a week in all the casinos in Las Vegas, and we've never seen it. Normally you see a little thing that says machine's not available to reserve.
Well, and if you want to do a reserve machine for someone, then call it reserved. Get a reserve sign, a button, or whatever.
That's true. That
don't
would
say
be a
it's
good
out
idea.
of service. It's not broken.
Yeah.
It's not a broken machine. It's working perfectly fine. You're just excluding, which is, from a management perspective, I'm baffled why you would shut down a machine for 2 hours from all the income and all of the revenue you could generate in those 2 hours just because somebody needs to go powder their nose or whatever. I mean, I don't mind if somebody goes to the restroom. We all reserve machines for each other when someone needs to go to the restroom or something. But this guy was going to be gone for a couple hours doing God knows what, and no one else could use the machine.
We've seen a number of times that you can even call a slot attendant over to watch a machine for you while you go use the restroom. We've seen that quite a bit. When I need to use the restroom, I'll tilt the chair if my husband isn't here, because he'll always take care of things. Of course, we watch out for each other, but if we're not together, then, you ask the nice person sitting next to you, or you tell them I'm going to be back, tilt the chair, put the card in,
We had a similar issue last time we stayed here. We were trying to play those 8, at least one machine or 2 machines out of those 8 Dragon Link machines here at the Monarch, and there was one lady playing 4 machines. And that seemed rather odd to us, being Las Vegas locals. That doesn't seem right. So we asked the manager then, and they were like, oh yeah, well, they can do that as long as they have the money and all the machines. But we noticed, since we came back?
Yeah, we wrote a letter to management and explained that we thought that was very unfair, because they even said, management said, at that point, the lower level slot management said, well, these are locals and they just want to come in and they will let them play sometimes up to 6 machines. And I'm like, what? So you've got all these people waiting for machines while one person is going across playing six machines, but the normal one was playing like 3 or 4 when they were playing multiple. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so since we wrote that letter, not to say that we have that much pull, but we don't see that. Now it's 1 person per machine. So we saw that.
So it's progress. Kudos to Monarch for making that adjustment.
Yeah, and sometimes upper management just needs to know these things are happening. So we are going to write to them and let them know what happened, and let them know that we were not exactly happy with the fact that, there was no reason. There are people waiting for machines. Why are you going to put one out of order that's not out of order? It just makes no sense.
Your willingness to offend other patrons, other customers, by locking them out of a machine for the sake of one quote-unquote high roller who isn't all that high of a roller.
No, he wasn't.
Just is kind of a bad decision. And guys, you know us. We're very positive, very upbeat, we don't like to post anything really that is of a negative persuasion, because we're just out here loving life, living a great Vegas life, and now we're in Colorado and we're running into some roadblocks, and we just thought it'd be a good discussion point. We want your comments, we want your input. Do you think this is right? Have you experienced anything like it? If so, weigh in on the comments. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, and we understand there's a high limit room. You get better cocktails, better wine. You get treated a little better in the high limit room, and we enjoy that. But when you're playing on the floor, you should play by those rules. So I'm kind of like not always a rule follower. Am I a rule follower, babe?
At times. I think we all are when it's our safety anyway.
Well, you know what? I think it's just about fairness, and just don't talk down to me. And if I ask you if that machine is out of service, why it's out of service, don't just, it's out of service. Give me a reason. The machines go out of service because they get jammed. There's a technical problem with them. They're over. They need to be emptied with the money, or there's out of paper or whatever. But not simply out of service for a couple of hours. What was he doing? Going home to take a nap? Maybe he had to go to work, babe, and then he wanted to come back and play. Maybe he wants to rent the machine. Maybe he was going to give him a big tip.
And because there are only 8 machines, there are there are what we call slot machine stalkers all around, right? So there are people hovering around the area waiting for you to finish, or they're studying the payouts of each machine, and they're over your shoulder. It makes you uncomfortable, makes you feel rushed. You can't have a positive experience. So you're already dealing with the slot machine stalkers who are waiting to pounce on a machine. But then you're going to lock out one of those 8 just for the purpose of one individual?
Because we were an outsider, babe. I think because we don't live up here, we're not a local, but here, yet they're comping us and trying to get us to come in, but yet they're catering to the locals and hey, Joe, hey, Johnny,
Imagine driving 11 hours from Vegas to come stay and play here, and then not get access to the machine you want to play because somebody wants to be gone for 2 hours doing something other than playing slots. So, on the plus side, though, I will say the Monarch is a beautiful hotel.
Beautiful.
As Colorado casinos go, probably my favorite. Ameristar is pretty beautiful too, but we haven't really stayed there yet. But the artistry, the decoration, the sculptures, the painting, the lighting. There's so many cool things about this place, but they have a ways to go in their slot management and how they treat their customers. I think
it's just some tactics that are taking place here on a low level of management, and maybe they're just doing for their friends or whatever. I don't think that they really care about the overall customers. I think it's just because it's a niched into this mountainside. It's just the lower level has that. Now I'm pretty sure that the upper level, and maybe hopefully maybe upper level management will get to watch either this video, or they definitely will be reading the letter that my wonderful operations husband will write, because he's an operations guy. I'm a director. Between the two of us, we kind of like take care of business, but we really like to enjoy life. Okay, again, please just leave it down below. We're going to give you a little view of the hotel at the end here, and we just thought that we had to ask, is there such a thing as
slot privilege.
Slot privilege. Does it exist? Slot privilege. Is it a thing? Am I overreacting?
I think Ginger Vegas should have slot privilege, but that's just me.
And yeah. Okay.
All right.
I don't think so. I think fair to all. Wait for the machine.
Yes.
When you're done with the machine, you leave. If you have to go potty or go do something real quick, do it and come back. No 2 hours out of service.
Anytime you're doing something off the books or out of policy, not within the written policy, then you're opening yourself up for discrimination, judgment calls that are not fair. You name it. And it's probably a bad idea to go outside of what the company hotel policy is, just for those reasons. There are legal reasons. There are all sorts of reasons to stay within the confines of the policy. But
okay, I'm really excited to hear what y'all think. So please put your comments, and we look forward to reading them. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Got dragon links right there. These are the dragon links that we were talking about, and it's a beautiful casino. Beautiful casino. Beautiful outdoors. All right, this is what we're liking about. This is what we're liking about the Monarch. Big, beautiful Da Vinci style fireplace.